It is a Wednesday. We've got a really interesting weather day ahead. Incredible. I'm going to show you some incredible fast forward video of Mount Shasta from just the last hour or so. And then we're going to talk about this rain event coming in. It shows up north of Point Conception, kind of a two-parter. North of Point Conception, which is Santa Barbara, it comes tonight late into tomorrow all day. South of Santa Barbara, which is Santa Barbara, Oxnard, LA, San Diego, all my friends down there, this little lobe kind of swings in underneath and tomorrow night and in tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night into Friday into Friday and even a little bit into the weekend. You've got showers and rain and real rain. You're going to see some flood watches, flood advisories as the subtropical moisture really gets wrapped in there and the system slowed down, and didn't look like that 2 days ago. It looked like it might yesterday. Now today it's slowed down. Now for Northern California, it's going to be an awesome beneficial rain event. For Southern California, it's going to be a little bit more, it's beneficial at the first inch, and then those next 2 or 3 inches potential in Santa Cruz or Santa Barbara and Los Angeles will become a bit of a nuisance, could become a bit of a nuisance in the burn zones, things like that. We've got big wind to talk about, winter storm warnings to talk about, gusts up to 60, 70 miles an hour for the entire West Coast, all the way up into Washington and Seattle. You'll see that, wind advisories, wind warnings, winter weather advisories, and so on and so forth. Got an interesting picture last night from Lake Tahoe. Billy Hudson sent me a shot. I'll see if I can slide it in here, Aurora. I'll write it down because I always forget to do it. He sent me a picture that had a little bit of Aurora in it from Olympic Valley. And then this, we start off with this. Now you can always scrub through to get to the models. It's if you grab your little bar at the bottom, it'll say GFS, and we're going to go through all the models, but we're going to also go through our state, and we're going to go from north to south and from Oregon to Washington all the way to Southern California. We're going to watch this storm come in, and right now we're watching it come in up around Lake Shasta, and this is really, you're going to like this. Watch these lenticular clouds. Isn't that stunning? See the moisture coming up the south slope. The winds are coming from the south, right? So when the winds come from the south, let me pause this out here. So when the winds come from the south, they get driven. It's hard to tell perspective because it's way off in the distance. But you get these cap clouds, and then the air sinks, but then it bounces up again. And that's what you're seeing here. The air is bouncing up, condensing and cooling, and then sinking again. So that you get these wave clouds, Lee clouds they call them. Glider pilots love them because it's a sine curve, right? Oh, actually, I got to go like this. Sorry. And so it's something like that, and then it'll bounce again. And so you're seeing it being built up here. So if you can imagine that in your mind's eye, now let's go back and do it again. We'll start off at sunrise. You see that the winds have already started. This is a wind event, this storm system. Already strong south winds to get a piling of lenticular clouds downstream, and which you can't see, but I think we can see in other... I think we can see it. I might do this too. Okay, so there's the clouds. I think I can do this. Let's see. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Here it is. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Look at me. Okay. So now you can see, I think we'll be able to see the clouds further downstream. See them? So this was this morning. There's the mountain. Air goes up. Comes down, and then it undulates. It keeps bouncing. Boom, boom. At the top of that bounce is these. I can't trace it out exactly. So that's kind of cool, huh? Let's see. I put a motion on it. I think it might cloud up too soon. This is from Wairika. Isn't that awesome? Freaking A, California, right? Come on. Look at, see all the downstream lenticulars? That's awesome. Oh, so beautiful. That's about as good a... Oh my God, that's about, so I think I can see them better here. Okay, you may have to scrub some of this. Again, this is all, it's all for me and you, but if you're not interested and you just want to get right to the weather, you just scrub through and find the models. Here's the air being forced up, bounces down. Being forced up because it hits the ground and bounces, and then bounces. And when it bounces, see it? There's the bounces. Isn't that awesome? I know. I love weather. Wow. That's about as good imageries you're going to see for that, illustrating that. Okay, so here's some product from the National Weather Service, just showing what I think the takeaway here is. That's everybody's getting wet, right? Everybody's getting wet. Look at Southern Cal. Look at San Diego, 2 to 3 inches of rain, 4 to 6 inches in Yosemite. So the southern Sierra Nevada, snow levels are a little higher than we'd like, but the southern Sierra Nevada is going to see, a foot, 2 feet of snow, but above 6,000 feet. Tahoe will see a foot of snow, perhaps 6 to 8 inches to a foot at pass level, and then above pass level, potentially up around 7,000 feet, potentially a foot and a half, 2 feet. So it's an awesome storm. Very beneficial for everybody north of Point Conception. Beneficial to a point for Southern California, but my concern is that Southern California, this is the HRRR, is going to have trouble in those burn zones, certainly by Friday, because this thing's going slower than we thought. So this is the HRRR. It's a rapid update. I'm going to see if I can update it more rapidly. Let's do this. Thanks. I'm kind of excited today because the weather's so awesome. So yeah, so that's as updated as I can get, and that shows you, 12Z tomorrow morning. So 4 or 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, 3, 4 in the morning. So this thing starts to come on shore, and again, everything north of Point Conception, right? Yeah, that's where it's going, and then this bottom half swings in later on, and we'll see that in the upcoming future models. This is, I'm going to zero this in. I like this. It's always off kilter because it's always updating. This is infrared satellite. Just shows the enhancement of the clouds using colors. Basically, the colder, the hotter, the brighter the colors, the higher the cloud tops. That means they're colder. It's actually the reverse of what you might think. Obviously, the higher you go, the colder you get. But it just shows you where it's at right now. There's a lot of dynamics here because of the high cloud tops. Here, you just got subtropical moisture, right? There's not a lot of reds and yellows in there. It's just wet. And then in here, you got this bad boy, this low. This is the motor. This is the fuel here, and the two are meeting. And then eventually, this motor drops into Southern California and lingers. And that's one of the things that will make this a pretty good event. Not a good event. It'll make for less than beneficial rainfall in Southern California at some point. Okay, so that's a brief look at the models again. Wow, let's look at this again. Sorry, I know. My old buddy Orman Granger would have gone crazy for this. He's a real famous climatologist who taught me everything I know about climate, which is just enough to be dangerous. Look at that. That's stunning. He used to start every class with a weather briefing. I love that class. It was awesome because I'd never realized at Berkeley, and I'd never really thought you could study meteorology. I don't know. I didn't know it existed really. I knew it was on guys on TV and stuff. Okay, so here is Weaverville. It was founded by John Weaver. We talked about this before 1850 during the gold rush. The thing we didn't talk about was in 1874, the Joss Temple, the Chinese temple, was built, and they had a huge Chinese contingent, obviously, up there in the mining camps. But in this camp, in Weaverville in particular, it was an early mining camp, and it's still there. The Joss House, I hope I'm saying that right, Joss House, is now a state landmark, so you can go visit it. It sounds really cool. There's one in Oroville too. It's a little different, but these old mining towns, a lot of Chinese labor, they were coming in early, right? Like you think, oh, they came in during the building of the railroads. No, they were utilized. The Chinese were utilized effectively by Judah and Crocker and those guys building the railroads. But prior to the railroads, decades before the railroads, they were over here, as well as the Peruvians and the Australians, and everybody came to California. And so the Chinese were very, they're very entrepreneurial and very nimble. They all show up here and go, yeah, we're going to get some gold. And they were a big part of Weaverville's history. This is a shot I showed yesterday. I just love it. It's Alturas area. 64 degrees today in Alturas, and this is the opposite view. Remember, we were looking at Mount Shasta, so you can see Alturas not really seeing much in the way of, that's beautiful. not seeing much in the way of those lenticular clouds or that moisture. That moisture is just now, it's over here. If we were looking for Mount Shasta is way up in here. But this is Northeast California. Again, it's going to go mid-60s today. This shot, as we move into San Francisco, you can see closer to the coast, that's some tropical moisture moving in. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little drizzle tonight. By tomorrow morning, it's raining. Your morning commute looks a little sketch. And it lingers, and it's going to be a really beneficial storm for San Francisco. 1.5 inches of rain, maybe. Really good storm, but windy. I think the wind will end up being probably one of the bigger stories in Northern California. This is Point Conception. This is the break. This is everybody, Point Conception north, tonight, tomorrow, Point Conception south. That's when you get into it. You'll see a little rain in that south and at Point Conception. This Halama, this would be Diablo Canyon Nuclear Facility up here. And I love this part of the coast, Northern California, or Central California, where it breaks in my mind. This is Santa Paula. It's going to go 67 degrees today. Santa Paula is kind of up above. We're looking down towards Ventura. And it's 67 degrees today. So you're kind of looking out in that valley. I don't know this area that well. But you can see it's that's moisture, right? There's not a lot of dynamics yet. I showed you where the dynamics were, right? The dynamics are still a little further north. Moisture is all, the fuel is all, that's the fuel just waiting for that flash, for that low to get in here, which is going to be more towards tomorrow night into Friday. So let's put a little loop on this. You guys are so patient today. Thank you. And then Mount Wilson, looking down out towards, you're looking kind of towards looking towards the south and the east. And you can see that there's the observatory. I always think of Mount Wilson. I always think of James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause. I think that's the same one, right? Mount Wilson is going to go 70 degrees today. And then our last, I think that is our last camera. Now we're going to go to Weather Service stuff. Northwest National Weather Service forecast out of Medford. They're going, okay, look, it's going to start raining. This is tonight through Friday morning. So look at, I'm talking 3 inches of rain, possibly in Los Angeles, and I'm talking 1/4 inch at Grants Pass. I'm talking a 1/2 inch at Bandon, right? I'm talking 3 inches around Mount Shasta, this Mount Shasta right here. So this is out of the Medford office. And then they have their watches and warnings. This is right now, the browns, or these gray areas represent dense fog advisories, and then the wind watches and wind warnings. And those wind warnings equate to some big activity offshore in terms of gale warnings. A bigger shot from Bernie south. This is out of Sacramento. There's your winter weather advisory here, which just means it's going to turn to a winter storm warning. They're already got a winter storm warning for area south. There's your wind advisory. And these winds are going to go 30, 40, 50, 60. And then along the coast, Marin County, wind warning with wind gusts. Let's see how they're characterizing that wind warning. I like they'll break it out. And they're saying from tonight through tomorrow morning, and they're saying wind gusts, I bet they're up to 60 or 70, 25 to 35 out of the south, gusts to 60 expected along the coast. So, that's that kind of thing where I could see maybe PG&E dropping the power down. I don't know if they will. I mean, it's not high fire danger time at all, but it definitely it could be some power outages uninitiated. So this is out of Central California, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Ventura, Los Angeles. Thursday morning, maybe a few sprinkles, even a thunder shower, right? That's the phase one. Then late morning, and then the thunder shower potential goes away. And then by Thursday afternoon, and then by Friday evening, and then rain continues all the way through, potentially all the way through Friday. And then these are some of the watches and warnings. And I think it's going to be wet down there. And it's going to linger longer than it does here, and you'll see that. These are the forecast highs for today. Still spinning on those lenticulars. Isn't that awesome? Wave clouds. I build, I don't want to get into it, but I like gliders, and so I pay attention to wind flow and downwind and sine curve or lee wave activity, and that is one of the most awesome pictures, right? Isn't it interesting how the air goes up, goes down, bounces off the ground, and goes back up? Doesn't even need, no, it gets the mountain to get it going, but then it's like harmonic. It just keeps going right down the line. These are the forecast highs for today. Pretty warm considering we got weather coming in, but we know that most of that right now, that early round coming in is subtropical in nature, and that's why the temperature in Ukiah today is going to be 63 degrees, 63 in Sacramento, 65 at San Francisco Airport. Here's how it looks tomorrow. Whoops. Actually, wait a second. I guess I only got one of those in. Dang, sorry guys. I thought I had two. Tomorrow's going to be a little bit cooler. And then here's the model. This is what you want to see. So maybe you scrub to this point. We talked about a bunch of other stuff. You may want to check out that Mount Shasta video off the top, though, if you have time. This is the low. This is tomorrow morning, right there. Interesting, right? So that's Thursday morning. So you see what you can't see. Well, first thing you see is we're in the right quadrant. So we're in the right place for dynamics, and you can't. This is vorticity, so it shows the engine. What it doesn't show is the fuel. This thing, we know this is loaded with fuel. So these two things are merging up, and this starts the activity tonight, late into tomorrow, and into Friday, Thursday and Friday. Into tomorrow being Thursday. And so you see the low. Look at the low. See how it wobbles? See it kind of backs off and then comes back in. So let's just tick through. I'm going to start off with where the energy, where the motor is. This is Thursday afternoon. It's wet for Northern California and parts of Southern California. This is Friday morning. Still going. So Northern California is still getting some rain. And then Southern California, this is Saturday morning. And it still has, so this area in here, let's just back it up because there's so much going on here. There's a lot, because it depends how much moisture is in there too. So this is 12Z Thursday morning, tomorrow morning, all the way through Sunday morning. Some energy in there. Models are going to move around, man. So let's not get too fired up about it. But we do know the rain is coming. It's going to rain north of Point Conception starting tonight through the day tomorrow. That's Thursday. And into Southern California too. But the heavier rain in Southern California comes, I believe, tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night and into Friday morning. Here's the precipitable water. This is what people consider atmospheric river. Anything that's got blue in it's an atmospheric river, apparently. That's just. I don't know how I gotta call my buddy Jan Null. He'll help me with that. I gotta figure out a way to quantify this better. So it's okay. Look at that. The whole West Coast. This is 12Z Thursday. Look at that. Look at all that moisture. That purple is moisture. This is not showing dynamics. It's showing fuel. First thing we looked at, the vorticity was the motor. This is the fuel. Look at all the fuel available Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. Now Southern California, boom, right there. And this is Friday morning. So look at Southern California, south of Point Conception. That's a lot of fuel. That doesn't even need a flash point. It doesn't even need a motor. It's just going to be enough moisture to really create, and that's where there's rain. And then it feeds north. This is Saturday morning. And then Southern California into Sunday morning. Starts to break out. So, be interesting to see how this goes down. So let's look at the North America model. This is a more rapid update model. We'll show this. I think I got the GFS loaded up behind it. So this will time it out for you. Okay, you got the winds. So first, see the dark lines close together. That's wind. Yeah, you can see it here. I know you can see it. I just want to make sure you can't see these. Each one of these is an isobar. And when they get close, it means wind. So they're going to get close. And then when the storm goes by, they're going to open up, and they're going to be less close together. They're going to be farther apart, and the pressure gradient will lessen the pressure gradient. So here is, let's go right to Thursday morning. Thursday morning, right there, and that verifies. And then that's the wind too. So Thursday morning's wind, especially along the coast. Big rain Thursday mid-morning. And then into Thursday afternoon. And that's thunderstorms possible little bit of everything, but you're going, hey, what's going on with LA, right? Well, LA, this area starts to swing in. See that moisture starts to feel out. So by Friday morning, LA will have a few sprinkles in there, but this model not showing much. This is Friday morning, and then it swings in. And then this swings in. That's Saturday morning. Look at that, Saturday afternoon. I'm looking at Southern California right now. So this looks a little slower than the other models. Let's try this model. This is the GFS precipitation. Let's go sea level. I want to see the winds too. So we're gonna go over here. Sea level pressure and precipitation, GFS. Okay, so we looked at the North American. This is going to show the same thing that the NAM showed, and the GFS is going to. This is the different model. You see the close dark lines together. This is Thursday morning, north of Point Conception. Right, there's Point Conception there. That's a big hit up around Cape Mendocino. Winds die down Thursday afternoon. See the lines are farther apart. Still pretty dry south of Point Conception. And then here it comes. That's, yeah, they're sort of in agreement, aren't they? Friday morning, and then there it goes. That's your big rain event down there Friday morning into Saturday morning. And then it kind of drifts north into Sunday morning. God. And then it doubles down. Look at that. That next wave comes through on Monday afternoon into LA. Again, southern, you see the bullseye here. So it's Southern California and more in the crosshairs, but still wet. What do you do with that, you guys? I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to go after tomorrow's wet. Tomorrow's wet. Friday's wet. Kind of on and off. Not real, but windy, wet tomorrow, tonight and tomorrow. Friday's kind of scattered showers, maybe a thunder shower. And then Saturday and Sunday going to be unsettled. I don't know what I do with that. I haven't decided I'm just thinking about me personally, how I'm going to get out and about and do things. But it's a wet period. Beneficial rain north, maybe nasty rain south. Here's the look at the rainfall accumulation. This is Thursday morning. This is by Thursday afternoon. You see an inch or so of rain in Marin County, very typical. Not showing a lot of rain for Southern California, is it? Maybe a little bit. And then as you get into Friday morning, Southern California is still kind of mellow. And then it starts to go Friday afternoon. And then it really loads up there. I don't know if that looks right to me. Let's see. Make sure we got the right model run. Yeah, it's 100%, 12Z. Okay, these models are all over the map because I was looking at it this morning, it was a little different. So let's see, Southern California. I think I got it closer up. Look, let's do this. Okay, this is Southern California again. So this is accumulation by Friday morning. Yeah, look at that. Look at this bullseye up here. 2.5, 3 inches. South of in Santa Barbara, Montecito, that purple area, and it really loads up. Yeah, so Southern California, I mean, you can see, right, these purple areas. So that's, in this case, that's 5 inches of rain by, out down the road into the next week or so. So Southern California is going to get a bunch of rain. Let's go back one. Let's look at the West Coast now. Same model, just accumulation. So this is as of Friday morning, that footprint. Hope that helps. And then Southern California gets into it there, into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Let's look at one more thing. Sorry, it's just the model. I finished the update on this, so let's go back and make sure we got the latest model. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, okay. So this is North American. Let's just look at. I feel like they're a little slow in LA. I think LA, you guys are going to get rain prior to this. So here is Thursday mid-morning, Thursday afternoon. Okay, that's the coverage I expect. And then by Thursday night, it starts to move in. I think it's missing out on this Thursday night, Friday thing in LA. I think they're going to see rain before then. So we're going to watch it. What we'll end up doing? We're going to end up doing a update on this at some point. So just because, so what's today? Today's like it is. It's kind of the transition day. Thursday's the wet day. And then Thursday night into Friday, Southern California, it's game on. And Southern California, you're going to continue with rain. So it's a good weather system. It's got a lot of facets to it. It's got the cold air, it's got the warm air, and it has the potential for certainly beneficial rain and snow for Northern California or north of Point Conception. But south of Point Conception, I think there could be damaging issues. And as we get closer to it, we'll look at it. Northern California, the main events, I think it's going to be wind. I mean, I think, you know, inch, 2 inches of rain in Mill Valley or north of San Francisco, an inch to an inch and a half. Santa Barbara, you know, you guys are going to get potentially 5 inches of rain, 6 inches of rain if it verifies up in the Point Conception area. And we'll keep an eye on that. And then these are the watches and warnings on the West Coast. Whew. Take a deep breath. Yeah, it's a lot of weather. I mean, it's awesome to see. That the struggle is the models have moved around a bit. These are earthquakes. Models have moved around a bit on the timing, obviously, and the intensity, especially for Southern California. I think tomorrow night, Thursday night into Friday, I think you guys get more into it than the models are letting on. I don't know how you couldn't. So I bet the models are going to change. I may have to update tonight, actually. I feel like the models are bouncing around so much. Okay, so earthquakes, we got the basics, and we'll go back to it. Thanks for bearing with that. That was just me kind of doing me. The red dots, earthquakes in the last hour. Red dots represent earthquakes in the last hour. These are earthquakes in the last 24 hours, but the red dots represent earthquakes in the last hour. Earthquake in Hawaii, right? Yeah. By the volcano there on the Big Island, 2.1. But so there's a lot of earthquakes. Due for something. I know, I'm not Nostradamus or anything, but we got a quake coming for sure, dude. And it's going to be, it'll be big. Over 5, somewhere on the West Coast. Here is Thursday. Swell comes up. My buddy Eric from Powerline Productions, Maverick Surf filming crew, are looking at this swell for the potential. But my concern is I just don't think they're going to have enough. I think the winds are going to be a problem. This is Ocean Beach today. I saw a couple guys out there surfing. Let's see what they pick up here. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, they're calling it Thursday, Friday. They're not calling it very big at all. What does it say? Yeah, small. They want to go, Ocean Beach wants to go up to 12 feet, but I don't think that's enough for Mavericks to break. At one point, the swell looked bigger. This is where are we right there? Where are we, guys? Jeez Louise. Where are we? Oh, Pleasure Point. It's just so small looking. Santa Cruz. See the south wind showing up. It'll get bouncy. It's bad down there just because the south winds really screw things up. Pacific is funny because the south winds actually clean it up. Because Pacific faces a little bit north, this cove. This is Pacifica Pier, and just pretty shot. And then these are my friends up at Palisades. Like I told you, I got that. I'll remember to get that shot in of the aurora. I'll do it right here for that. Kind of Billy took a picture last night. Looked pretty good of essentially what I would perceive as an aurora. And then this is Venice Beach. I got another one here too. What is that? Oh, Mojave Desert. All right. I'm going fast because I'm running out of time. So let's revisit this. Today's Wednesday. Let's revisit this tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll bet you tomorrow we'll have a better idea. But my take on this is everything north of Point Conception, absolutely what the models say. I think that's all going to verify tomorrow's a wet day. I think south of Point Conception,